Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Before we get into our next segment, a message for you, our valued viewers, that from today, Monday the 12th of August, all NLCB draws will revert to airing live on TTT and all of our radio frequencies, Sweet 100, Next 99.1 FM and Talk City 91.1 FM. Now, recaps of all NLCB draws can be viewed on TTT's Facebook page, and TTT Limited and NLCB thank you for your understanding. Now, let's go on to some exciting segments this morning, and definitely what we need to be in the know about. This morning on Spotlight, we take a look at the Cut and Clear Initiative, a nationwide community-based environmental protection program and also enhancement.
Inside your Spotlight this morning, we focus on keeping your environment as clean as we possibly can. I want to welcome the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Mr. Peter Mitchell, as well as the Operations Coordinator of the same, Ariel Saunders. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Morning. Morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Quite fine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good.
Thank you so much for getting up this early and joining us. Firstly, let's chat a little bit about the importance of this Cut and Clear initiative. Mr. Mitchell, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. Now, I want to put the Cut and Clear in a context. As you know, we have the issue with dengue right now.
Right.
It began a weekend when I WhatsApped my colleague in the Ministry of Health, the Permanent Secretary, because I saw on the news the Minister of Health was very concerned about how the response by a couple of the municipal corporations in terms of dealing with the dengue issue. And I asked him, if you give me a brief or something like that, maybe I could inform the chief executive officers of the various corporations. We had a little talk back and forth and so forth. And what came out of that is that at the Ministry of Health, all the public health inspectors, the senior public health inspectors of all 14 corporations met at the Ministry of Health. And they got a briefing from the chief medical officer and his team and so forth. After that, the Ministry of Health, through the Minister of Health, when he went on television, said that we needed to cooperate in terms of keeping our surroundings clean. So that's how this Cut and Clear initiative came about. It was not a cabinet directive or ministerial directive. It came from the staff, particularly the change management and transformation unit of the ministry.
Okay.
So they came to me with a proposal in terms of how they can use the resources we have right now, which is the municipal corporation staff on the ground, as well as CPEP company, which is under the Ministry of Rural Development. Now, as Permanent Secretary, when my staff come with me with bright ideas, the first thing I ask is, how much is it going to cost me?
Naturally.
Right? So Ariel and his team came and together with the change manager, and they said, well, we're just going to mobilize resources because CPEP has already have the employees and so forth. So that's how the initiative came about. So I want to make sure that the public understands it's not something that came up out of a whoops or something. It's a clear methodology in terms of what we're doing in public health, because the ministry is responsible for coordinating public health through the municipal corporation.
Right.
And the Ministry of Health is our key stakeholder.
Fantastic. So, Ariel, tell me about how it runs, because we mentioned working with CPEP, we mentioned bringing the municipal corporations together. So, tell me how it's going to actually happen, or how it's been happening, because it started since August the 5th, right?
Correct. We started last week at the Penal Debe Regional Corporation and the San Fernando City Corporation.
Okay.
Roughly 900 workers will be mobilized on each day, managed by the PMO, Project Management Office at Head Office, which would sort of take on a coordinating function, make sure the teams are in the right places. We have asked the municipal corporations to submit lists of areas that they deem necessary for our intervention. We've also asked the public to support us by submitting areas that they think require our attention. And so we are focused right now on overgrown bushes in derelict lots. We are looking at drains that need to be cleaned. Particularly, and coming out of the exercise last week, we've realized that there are among us the elderly, those with special needs who may not be able to, I guess, upkeep their premises as they would like. And so we have had a number of requests come in for us to support in those areas, and we have been doing so. So we support 2 municipal corporations per week. This week we started the Diego Martin Borough Corporation and Shogunas Borough Corporation as well. And as I said, 450 workers in each corporation daily. They take a targeted approach. We mobilize our resources and we pool our resources. I think the uniqueness that this project has is that it brings all our staff together, right? And it's a very focused approach where we look at strength in numbers.
Okay. My question is it the government's responsibility to clean people's property?
Well, no, of course, of course, the prime responsibility, and even if you look at the entire dengue situation right now, the prime responsibility is with the individual to make sure that your properties are clean. But of course, as the Ministry of Rural Development, we do have a vested interest in ensuring that our surroundings are clean, and so that's why we've sort of incorporated private property into it. But of course, we must have the express permission of the owner.
Of course.
Yeah. So we want to encourage persons, as I said, you could prevent dengue by ensuring that your personal surroundings are clean. But in the event that you need our support, we stand ready and willing to assist.
All right. So I love that you mentioned how many. I love that you put numbers into it, right? So you say 450 persons per corporation heading out to do the work. How long does it take to cover an entire area? For example, you mentioned Digger Martin.
Yeah.
I know Digger Martin is a fairly big area. Even with 450 people, how many days are we expected these people to work and clean up and get the place in a nice...
Sure. So we'll be in each corporation for 5 days.
Okay.
All right. And so we are working with the list that we have submitted. Of course, the list that the corporations would have sent us, we have overlaps with those that we receive from the public.
All right.
But generally, we have had the strength to cover the majority of the list that we have received, and for areas that are critical, that have not been covered or that have been reported a bit later on in the exercise, we do intend to have a little mop-up exercise where we capture those areas.
So people can still submit?
Correct. We still want you to submit.
How?
Of course, you submit to us via WhatsApp at our contact 766-4199. And when you do so, please, we have seen some very interesting messages come in. We want you to ensure that you tell us your name, the municipal corporation, and the service that you need. We have even gone as far as asking persons to send us location pins and pictures so that we have a clear idea of where you expect us to go and to visit.
Now, I just want to make a plug here because, I mean, a lot of people use WhatsApp in Trinidad and Tobago, and some people not so literate when it comes to just generally in life, right? So is it okay if they send voice messages, if they send pictures, the location, and a voice message?
Of course, we welcome that. And of course, those who may not have access to WhatsApp, please visit your nearest municipal corporation and register your complaint, and we will attend to it.
All right, fantastic. Mr. Mitchell, I want to jump back across to you because you mentioned how this got started. And, I hear year after year, we hear these complaints that people say, during the dry season, we know rain is coming. And we know that with rain comes things like mosquitoes, we know rain comes things like landslides, flooding and that kind of thing. So do we not expect that these corporations would have been doing the cleanup work that we're talking about here since during the dry season in order to prepare for the rainy season?
Yeah, that is a concern that we have at the ministry have, and we are right now, as I say, going through a transformation exercise with the municipal corporations so that we can have them to plan better.
Right.
And not be very reactive, to be proactive. So I take your point. It is a valid concern that we should start doing work during the dry season. And the only thing I can offer is that at the ministry, we will be trying to assist our corporations to plan a little better to do that so that when the rainy season comes, we'll be better prepared for that. Because we're also responsible for coordinating disaster management and the cleaning of the drains and the rivers and so forth. We work with the Ministry of Works and Transport, so we are very proactive with them, with the river courses. I can tell you by me in San Fernando, we started work on the Superior River, I think from last year or so. So the point is taken.
Yeah.
We will work with the municipal corporations to do better.
What are some of the challenges that you hear coming out of the municipal corporations as to why the planning is not as effective as it ought to be?
One, it has to do with the mobilization of resources. One of the things that we discovered is that their equipment, some of it is down, waiting on spare parts, the funding and so forth. So one of the things that through the change management unit, as well as our own engineering unit, is to get a maintenance plan up and running. I spoke to the ministry's facilities manager last week, and I told him that I want a maintenance plan for all our vehicles ASAP. He promised to do that, because I think once your resources are there waiting for you at the moment the dry season starts, you can proceed. Because sometimes a lot of corporations will be applying for release of funds to fix equipment somewhere, sometime March, April, May, and of course the process is going through. So again, we take that on board. We are trying to improve our processes. We do have within the change management transformation unit change agents that are finalizing our process maps, so we see where the gaps are, where the delays are, and see where we can plug those.
So then can we say that by 2025 we should have better responses, or would it take longer than that to finalize all the details?
Well, I know working in government for so long, I know not to give specific dates. I can give it in quarters. We hope by the second quarter of 2025, we should have a better response time.
All right, fantastic. So tell me where we head into after Diego Martin and Chaguanas.
All right, so next week we are at the Couva, Tabaki, Talpa Regional Corporation and Princestown, my hometown. And there's a schedule that is published on our social media pages. So we ask the public to please keep on top of our social media pages. We use traditional and non-traditional social media pages. And you know something, of course, I must mention, for this project, Minister is very involved. Minister, receives a daily update from us, and he's very interested to know that, we are supporting the public in the way that the public needs to be supported through this dengue situation.
All right, fantastic. So we have the schedule up on screen here. Of course, you would have seen that it started from August 5th. And this week, as we would have mentioned, we head into Diego Martin Borough Corporation and the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. Next week, we head to Couva, Tabaki, Talparo, and Princestown. And then the week after that, we go into Tunapuna, etc. Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation, and Arima Borough Corporation. And of course, you can still send in your pictures, your location, and the information as to if you want your area cleaned up, especially given permission if you want your private property.
Please. The permission is very important to us. We will not enter private property without your permission.
All right, fantastic. Well, gentlemen, let me say thank you so much for joining us this morning and for the work that you're doing. Please keep it up, and I look forward to seeing those updates coming from you, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you for having us.
Not a problem at all. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break and we come back with more on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.